Uh, Congress people, and also, most importantly, my fellow Americans. So, this bill today I'd like to propose is called the Historical Monuments, Memorial, and Memory Protection Bill. Just clarify really quickly, when I say monuments, this refers to any statue, memorial, plaque, or anything to recognize a historical figure or event. So, throughout history, but especially in the past few years, there have been many statues depicting figures of great importance to American history that have been destroyed or vandalized. And regardless of how you might feel about these people and their influence on America, I believe it's important to remember them, to remember history. And so what this bill would do is it would require the Department of the Interior to enact greater protection for historical monuments deemed of significant importance by the state legislator. And this will take the form of security cameras, protected borders, and for certain monuments, if voted on by the state legislator, of high importance, potentially like armed guards. It would also increase punishments for vandalization, destruction, or general damage caused to the monuments, and depending on the severity of the damage determined by state courts. And then, if it is desired for monuments to be removed, the state legislator will decide via a vote, required 2/3 of the vote to remove a statue. And then also it's required for the statue or monument in this case, sorry, you don't even want to say monument, but to be placed, it can be taken down by the vote, but it must be preserved. It cannot just be destroyed. It must be placed in a museum somewhere or just preserved in some way so that it is still remembered. Yeah, that's the basic information for the bill. Any questions?
Representative Black?
Do you think that this could be left in local legislation, such as state or even cities? Because aside from a lot of the DC monuments, most monuments are erected by these local administrations. So wouldn't protection fall to them, not the federal government?
I think in many cases it could. I think that would just depend on it. But I think also if it's with like the Department of the Interior, it would be more of like this is using with the government. I think it potentially would involve more of that than like the very local government. But that's certainly a possibility depending on how I'll go through.
Representative LeBron?
So what would be the process for determining what monuments are considered of historical significance? Because I could just make like a tinfoil statue to my pet cat in my backyard, but if there's no concrete process to determining that, I could protect it I could ask the state government to enact protections of this because it's it's important.
Yes. Thank you for your question. And as I already said, it'd be voted on by the state legislature, 2/3 vote for protection or for it to be removed. So.
Representative Watson?
I have two questions.
Okay.
Are you seeking to make vandalism of a monument a federal crime? And if so, what would be the extent of the punishment?
Yes, I'm seeking to make that a federal crime as part of this. I believe so. That's what it'd be treated as. And then the extent of the crime or the punishment would be determined by the state courts or by the courts for what it would be. It depends. So, if it's very minor, it'd be far less. But if it is very major, then it would be greater. So, yeah.
Representative Kavanaugh?
What would you say to holding the vote to the people? Because oftentimes the people who have to live in the communities where these statues are erected, they have to live in that community, they have to be around it, they have to remember the history that was brought with the people that they're honoring. And so why would we leave it up to legislatures